My name's Tracy DuBose, and I live in Kekaha. I've been here about a dozen years. After living here a few years, I got cancer, and so I had time to lay in bed and think and listen and watch what was going on with the community. As I started feeling better, I got involved and started learning a lot, and these companies that have taken up and are just spending massive money on infrastructure and their farming practices, which are horrible, not to even mention the pesticides. Those are the chemical companies I was surrounded by in Texas growing up. Dow, DuPont, BASF. And what I've watched over my lifetime is that area is dead. The estuaries are dead, and most people do get cancer, you know. It's just a fact of life. Now we're doing this with food, and we're finding use for these war chemicals for food, and you just got to ask yourself, is this progress? The geography of the Waimea Valley is, you know, our winds are variable out here all the time. But at night, any gaseous element that's heavier than air is going to settle into a valley. So, you know, in my opinion, I'm sure that's what's happening is whatever's volatilized on the air, especially on the calm nights, are going to sink because of the effects of pressure and cooling and land. And so I think they're getting heavily hit there bad and by dust for sure, which is going to contain every pesticide that they spray. Let's go back to when was it when the schools, the stinkweed issue. So look how many years that's been already now, 7 years. What happened, happened. And you know, it's for real. They were spraying right there by the school. And I see all these companies with their signs and building these big facilities from Polahali to Hanapepe now. It was really alarming to me, and seeing their lack of respect for any kind of farming practices. And now, you know, with the expansion of these companies, it's really concerning, you know, and the lawsuit going on in Waimea, and it needs to have a really critical look taken at it. Not a day goes by anymore I don't think about moving, you know, and it's a really complicated issue. There's been no studies done. Well, in this area, the other parts of the world have banned many of these chemicals, as you probably know. I know atrazine, I think Duraspan, Lorspan, and there's a cocktail of 50 chemicals they're mixing and spraying, and so of course they're going to mix and combine and do things that you can't study unless you know. So I guess my point with Gary Hooser was, when he asked him, well, where is your registry? No, you're not going to get it. And these aren't the type of companies that I believe will give it to us without a big stink. You know, it's kind of like a bad marriage. If you can't discuss your problems, you're not going to solve them. So the discussion started.